Alright, I love Ron Paul and his, well, third place was a fine showing and, being all gentlemanly and stuff, but call a spade, guys. Call bullshit when it's bullshit. When they steal an election from you, it's just a little too important to just look the other way and move on. Okay, so seems to me that Ron Paul supporters need to get in there. Rick Santorum, are you fucking shitting me? Really? Anybody could see, and there is plenty of stuff if the attention of the American public is not that, short. Can you remember all the little essays they did, and they show Santorum had nothing there. They had nothing on the ground. They had no movement. And 100 guys show up at his meetings, right? Ron Paul literally has 10 times that much. Okay, now, believe me, I am no Rick Perry supporter. However, Rick Perry had a ground game. He had, he was organized. He had movement there. He had people out there moving and shaking and getting people to show up for him. Spent a lot of money. And Rick Perry blew his doors? Really? Are you buying it? The mainstream media is selling you this. They sold it to you ahead of time. Let's see. We came out with polls that show, right? Contains no news. Came out with polls that show that Santorum was surging. And that Ron Paul supporters, only 56% of them were going to show up. Remember that? So what you're telling me is that the young people who came out in droves and who stood in the cold and who passed out flyers and made signs and were out there, they do everything but vote. Really? Really? You believe that? So they'll do all kinds of, campaigning and getting on the phone and driving people to the polls, and they'll do all this stuff, pledge money, right? Because you can see the small donations that came in there, but they don't go vote. Okay, could be true. I'm interested to see the data now. That's the kind of, the math thing. I'm interested to see the data. Let's see the data. Let's see what Watch the Vote 212 has to say. Let's see if it matches up. Let's see where these votes were coming from. And then it turns out they were pretty lax on the ID thing. Okay. I'm not saying that maybe some of these guys got to vote more than once, but I find the results to be, and again, Gingrich is another one. He didn't have a ground game, so okay, I can see where he ended up. But like I said, Rick Perry got his doors blown by Santorum. And Mitt Romney, another one that had some money and a ground game there. But, I think from what I heard and when I was watching, it was maybe 200 guys that were showing up for Mitt Romney. And literally, again, 5-10 times that for Ron Paul, like, standing room only, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 1,000 here, but none of those people, they just came to hear him speak, right? They didn't come to vote for him when they were, standing and applauding and so forth. But when push came to shove, they went and voted for Rick Santorum. Okay, I mean, seriously, you guys got to call a spade a spade. Like, none of this, he got twice as many votes as last year. Yeah. I think it was probably, I saw some of those polls where it was like 50% Ron Paul, 56% Ron Paul, 53% Ron Paul, 60% Ron Paul, and then he wound up with 20%. So, I mean, doing the math there, less than half of the people that were showing up in the polls saying they were going to vote for him actually turned out for him. Really. And the guys that did show up, they showed up for Rick Santorum, who has been, I mean, come on. Republicans, really? Do you really think that Santorum has a hope in hell against Obama? Is he polling very well with the, the moderates and the independents and other Democrats? You think there's a Democrat that's going to vote for that guy? Right, there's plenty of Democrats that vote for Ron Paul, and there's plenty of independents that vote for Ron Paul. But, I mean, seriously? Okay, and you're going to let him do it every time? You're going to let him do it in New Hampshire? You're going to let him do it in, South Carolina? You're going to just let him keep stealing, right? Let him pick the candidate for you? Or are you going to make some noise about it? And it's not sour grapes, right? I mean, they can say, oh, it's just sour grapes. You're a Ron Paul supporter. Now you're surprised at Rick Santorum. Really? I was interested to see that somebody spammed one of my pages with Nazi video thing, you know, the one with Hitler, who's always like upset and so forth, that famous part of the movie, and it was Ron Paul finding out that he lost to Rick Santorum. That was interesting to me, actually. Sometimes you guys just aren't smart, right? You guys just aren't clever. Anyway, you go overboard. Call bullshit when you see bullshit. It's as simple as that. I mean, like I said, all this PC stuff, and you know, Ron Paul, okay, great. He doesn't want to get down and dirty with it. Then us supporters got to be the ones that go in there and interview people, right? Do some exit polling. Did you vote for Rick Santorum? Go find the voters that voted for Rick Santorum, and show that it was, you know, 5 times the amount that, or whatever it was. I need to look at the numbers. That voted for Rick Perry. You know, show that it was that Ron Paul came in third. Right? Basically a dead heat. Everybody's like, oh, it's just so you get 3 delegates, you get 3 delegates, you get 3 delegates. But the thing is that he would have had more delegates if they would have counted correctly. That's the bottom line. Now, if you can't see manipulation and rigging, and if this doesn't expose the fraud that is our mainstream media for what it is, well, then nothing does. But you can't just ignore it and pretend like everything's, you know, okay, because everything's not okay. If they can get away with this, right? If you had enough of them picking the candidate for you, it seems to me you should have had enough, right? The whole point, right, of me even making videos is because I'm just tired. I'm just tired of this. And I know too many of you have had enough. I mean, just had enough of this insanity. And the one guy, the one candidate, the man named Ron Paul is that's it. That's your only hope. I mean, they got nothing else. And if you've had enough, then enough of this too. Enough of this bullshit where they rig elections right in front of your face and rub your nose in it. And then basically dare you, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's my question.